You good? All right. Here we go. Speed. 3, 2, 1. It's that time again. It is the Mission Story Slam podcast brought to you by PWP Video. I'm Michael Schweisheimer. I'm the executive producer at PWP Video, Mission Story Slam, and I am someone who likes to vandalize things. Maybe not what you think. Vandalizing in this case is when you stick googly eyes on objects so they look back at you. And you spell it Vandal-EYES. Today we are back with part 2 of my conversation with absolute prize hog Tamica Tanksley. She took home both the Judges Award and the crowd favorite at Mission Story Slam 13. In the first part, we heard about Tamica's storytelling style and stage presence, of which she has extra. We went into detail about her creative process, and Tamica also talked about her family, the importance of storytelling as a tradition, and the difference between storytellers and story holders. And I really love that part about story holders. You could, I'm sure, listen to this episode without doubling back, but if you didn't hear the first, it's worth it just for that concept of story holders. So let's dive back into our conversation. So many different directions that we could go. So now, just to surprise you, I'm just going to be a total jerk. Everything in your story was so pro level, except Miss Tamica Tanksley. 11 and a half minutes? Really? What happened? Come on. Like, you over double that. You knew it was 5. Now, we didn't have a clock posted. There was no colored lamp, but damn, I thought I was surprised.
And you know why? Here's what happened.
It's a good 11 and a half. Don't get me wrong.
You're so right. I'm going to own it. I'm going to throw myself on my own sword. And I'm going to say, once I heard that, what do they call it in school? The honor system. Once I heard, hey, it's no clock, police yourself, it's no clock, and then once, and then I didn't go like till near the end. So once, they all were kind of going over a bit and it wasn't Sandman Sims didn't come off and drag you off the stage and it seemed welcomed and the audience was good, it's kind of like, it kind of, the rules went out the door. And so I kind of took a little liberty and it just felt like, and then the audience, they were,
that audience was
motivating me. And the more, and then it was like, I want to give them more.
Just so you know, not just you, the whole room, we're bringing back some kind of a ability, some way that storytellers will get a sense of how long they've been going. We may never go back to like a red light thing again, but we realize that we're putting everyone out there without a net so that, because when you're on that stage, if there's, no clock and no indication at all, you don't know if you've been going 4 minutes or 14. There's just no way to know because you're in it. I am curious. I thought when you talked about getting the mud off your wings, go birds, was that your original planned ending spot? And then you went a little further. Like, did you bring in things that you had cut when you were planning the story to give us more? Or did you just protract things while you were enjoying the audience? Like how, and by the way, I'm giving you a rough time because you were so damn good. I have to find something to give you crap about, or else it's not me.
I take it all in stride,
But
again.
I'm kind of curious, like, if you were planning on 5 to 7, like you stretched for 11 and a half and it was great. So I'm just kind of curious where you drew that from while you were on that stage. Cause that is a lot of content to give us and still have it be that tight.
It ended where it was supposed to end. It ended with the Shimon, fear Shimon. That was the real ending. And so I think it was the extra pauses, the laughter, me laughing, the audience laughing. And so I could stretch a story. Like I could stretch a story.
By the way,
like
I love you laughing. You talk about telling from the heart and letting us know that you're telling, like, someone can laugh at their own jokes too much. But I really enjoyed the way that you were laughing while you were telling the story as a cue that you were enjoying yourself also. Like, I think that also freed up the audience to know, like, yes, she's having fun and making fun. So I thought that was cool. And I do have to ask, are you using this gift that you have so unleashed. Are you using it in your work at Compass Pro Bono at all? Or are you trying to think about how you might do that?
Actually, I have used it. I've used
Nice.
it because it's who I am. I naturally used it from the beginning. So we do a lot of information sessions. I connect with a lot of nonprofit leaders, with business leaders and business professionals. And so, again, I talk in stories just naturally. And so uh, it's very easy for me to tell the story about why we want to support nonprofits through um, strategic consulting, why you may want to be interested in using your talents and time to sow seeds of service into these nonprofits. And because I have been committed to, when I mentioned that toxic job, after that
Yeah.
job,
Yeah, let's be clear. That toxic job is not your job at Compass. We'll just clear
that
the
was
air.
like 2 jobs ago. And actually, I got fired on my day off, which is another story.
Fired on your, yeah, that is going to be a story. Anyway, so you committed yourself, I'm sorry, to using your storytelling powers.
Because I believe that what you do is just as important as where you do it. And so I decided that because we spend a lot of our time working jobs, and working in our careers. Yeah. And so I decided that I wanted to be in places that I was truly passionate about the mission and passionate about the people I will be supporting. And so I'm very passionate about nonprofit organizations because they're the heart and soul of the community. They have their finger on the pulse, fighting on the front line, sleeves rolled up, dirt under the nails, boots on the ground, handling the myriad of issues that plague our news feeds that someone's saying, well, who's doing something about this? These nonprofit organizations, but they need resources, they need support. And so, boom, here you come with these business professionals who have that strategic mind on how to make that work. And so when you connect people with the heart for the heart of a thing, because most nonprofits are started from pain or passion. So when you have people with the heart for the work and you connect them with those strategic minds, that's really the sweet spot. And so I use my storytelling in helping to paint a picture for nonprofit organizations on why this is a good opportunity that you should take advantage of. And I use the storytelling to paint a picture for business professionals who think, I don't need one more thing on my list.
Yeah.
I can't donate my time to nothing else. And
right.
so
Pro bono what?
Right. Free. Ain't nothing for free. And so I use that to, again, show them and illustrate to them why this would be a good opportunity to sacrifice some time for. So yes, I think I may use it a little too much. I'm often, color outside the lines too when it comes to storytelling. It's like, oh, you're saying too much. But again, I just believe in the story. People respond to stories and not numbers. Sometimes we love giving facts and figures, and we think that is the star. And we think if we give them a big number and a star, and we like to quote a lot of stats, but the story is really the star over the stat. And that's just whatever you're doing. And if we can learn human interest stories, you hear that all the time for newspapers and magazines, and people are interested in human interest stories. And I really think it is time that we reconnect a theme we've had throughout this conversation, connect people again back to the heart. And storytelling is just the heart of life. That's how we spoke about history earlier. That's how history, particularly in the African-American communities from Africa to now, where stories are alive. And so you can try to erase it, whitewash it, ban it. But the one thing you can't do is take it from my heart. And the one thing you can't do is that when I share it with someone else and they share it, that's what really keeps it alive. So stories are really the fire that ignites and unites us all. Woo! See, now that's
Now,
off the top. See,
that's off. Okay, all
that's
right.
off the top, and that's how my mind works.
Well, we've got the recording this time.
Yes,
you can come back to this note. I do. I mean, look, I'm in the storytelling business with P2EP Video. We tell nonprofit stories. So I would be lying if I sat here and tried to disagree with you. I would. The only thing I would add potentially to that is I do think that stories are also a really great way to explain not all the numbers, but like if you've got that big impressive number, that's great. But if you can humanize it into a story, then you've really got something. And if you want someone to remember a number, give it a human face. That's when it becomes much more retainable and attainable and relatable, is when you put that human narrative to it. So
ding, 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 ding. You get the Cupid prize, the Cupid doll prize. That is exactly right. It's kind of like with math, is showing your work. The story is showing your work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how did you solve for X? That's how you solve for X. Well,
and then you can do it with heart, right? You can, that whole thing you said earlier about telling people what they need to feel, or as I was saying, like letting them feel it. Like if you have that story to demonstrate, you can tell me you're helping, X number of homeless people attain housing, but introduce me to someone and actually help me understand that one person's journey, and then tell me you did that 1,000 times or 100 times. Like now my mind is going to be like, oh my goodness, now I understand the scale of what that number means, because I now can relate it to, like, if there's one story that powerful and you're telling me you've done this 100 times, 500 times at that, like now I know what that impact feels like. And now I will remember that number. So, yes.
And here's the story that really helped me come to that conclusion. I went to a storytelling workshop for nonprofits. The facilitator shared the story about her daughter selling Girl Scout cookies and how they were out all day at like some hockey game trying to sell these Girl Scout cookies. They talked about the taste and what were their flavors and all the different names, and they didn't sell. But once they shared that portions of the proceeds went to support their classmate who was undergoing cancer treatments, they sold out.
Wow.
That always stuck with me, and it helped to kind of validate what I thought, the value I thought stories brought to stats. And so when I heard that, I'm like, exactly. Like, how you know a thing, but you can't really articulate it. That helped me to really understand and articulate it. And it's like, what's the story behind it? Because everybody's selling Girl Scout cookies. You go to a store, a market, blah, blah, blah. But why should I get them from you?
That's why I don't leave the house during Girl Scout cookie season, because if they have those caramel, I still call them Samoas. I know they changed the name to caramel somebody.
Oh, the name has changed?
Yeah, they changed the name. I think they I don't know why. But
did they keep the recipe?
You bet they did, because man, those things are dangerous to me. Listen, I want to land this plane because I told you and I can talk too much, and I'm enjoying the heck out of myself and could keep doing this.
Me too.
Couple last things. Do you think that you might bring, like thinking about Mission Story Slam again, do you think you might bring some of your Compass clients to future Mission Story Slams to to convert story holders to storytellers? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And you know why? Because I also, the Schuylkill River Greenways, and that became a story because that was part of what I love to call my Compass client field trips.
Okay.
Where I love to get behind the scenes. I love to hear the story. And so in hearing the story, and I had recent Compass client field trips with Today is a Good Day, which supports families with infants in the NICU.
That's is it Martha Sharkey? Is that right?
Yes. Shout out to Martha Sharkey.
Martha's cool. She came and told a story at one of our few virtual slams. I'd love to get her on the actual stage. Martha's very cool. And
so I would love to, because the thing I love the most, and I absolutely love what I do with Compass Pro Bono, and that's because I love people. And and I love storytelling. So when I hear the stories about how these nonprofit organizations came to be, it just moves and touches me in a way that is life-changing, that is encouraging, that's motivating. And so I would absolutely love to bring some of these amazing people to the stage to share these amazing stories. And some of our volunteers, amazing. And some of our volunteers.
I would love to see volunteers on stage telling a story. Like because that's something I've been asking some of our nonprofits to do, because I think, and I've seen it once or twice, I've seen a client, but it's often nonprofit professionals. And I think that like our clients and our volunteers, man, talk about someone who can actually capture what you're doing without citing fact, not Dave Winston often says it's not a TED talk, it's a narrative, it's a story. And those volunteers, man, they're there. They don't have to be there. They can be anywhere else. There is a reason they're in doing the hard work that you're doing. And I really want to hear some volunteer stories.
I'm on it, because let me say this. There are some volunteer stories where what that project, what volunteering, how it has literally 360'd their life. Those are stories that need to be heard. I mean, from people who have led a project to allowing that project to inspire them to boom, start their own thing.
Wow.
And I mean, it's just amazing. And I love being able to have a front row seat at these stories all the time. Like, I absolutely love it.
So I want to trade answers on this one. And I'm going to go first because I'm selfish. I want to ask how you would like to see people leveraging Mission Story Slam now that you've like been fully engaged and seen it and seen what it's about. But I'm going to go first because before we hit record, you were talking about how you enjoyed or had people tell you how much they enjoyed seeing the video of your story, and that people were really into that. And one of the things that's been at the heart of Mission Story Slam since Dave Winston pitched the idea to me in 2018 was we really wanted, there's a lot of organizations that maybe can't afford to do a full up production with PWP video, right? And this is a way for us to work with some smaller organizations and to give them, and larger, but to give organizations a video that they can put out there with an impactful story that they can share. So my answer to how I'd like to see people leveraging Mission Story Slam more is I'd like to see more of our nonprofits that really don't have another path to getting a good piece of video promotion using the heck out of that story video. And we've had some who've done it and done it really, really well. But I just want to see that more often. Like out of every slam, a couple few who are just like, boom, like look at this asset, look at this piece of collateral. Let's get this out on social. Let's get it out in our mailing list. So that's my thing. I'm curious if you have some ideas of ways that you think the nonprofit community and the do-gooder community could be doing a better job leveraging Mission Story Slam now that you've found it.
The thing that I love the most about Mission Story Slam, and the thing that I've also been sharing about out of the wins I've had, what makes this one really significant and impactful is that the prize quote money that you win, it goes to your favorite nonprofit. And so that to me is such a double way to give back. It's unique. I've never heard of it before. Having my quote, the storytelling winnings go to a nonprofit, and
you gave
the
it to
nonprofit
Schuylkill
I
River
chose.
Greenways, yeah.
Yes, I mean, and the nonprofit I chose was the nonprofit that inspired this story.
It's so cool.
Which was the nonprofit where I spent the day on the Schuylkill River with, which that was a life-changing thing. So that was like my gift back to them for such a priceless gift that keeps on giving to me, that experience on the water. That showed me I can do scary things and come out on top. Like, that's priceless. I can't put a price on it. And like you said, the do-gooders. And so to be able to do good for the do-gooders, because oftentimes it's like the saying, no good deed goes unpunished. And I say that to say sometimes as a do-gooder, you feel like that the reward for doing good is to do more good. And it can be draining. You know, you can feel unappreciated.
It is draining.
Yes, it's a current uphill battle. It's a fight, you know, and it can really tug and wear you down.
Yeah.
So kudos to you and Dave, because I know this is just so amazing, and an amazing way to pour back into the do-gooders, into nonprofits. And so how do we leverage it? Having more people tell stories and use this as an opportunity to bless the nonprofit organization of their choice, to bless the nonprofit community, to really create and utilize this stage to uplift people who are often uplifting others.
And by the way, I got to shine a light on you, because before you realized the prize money wasn't going to you, you did designate Schuylkill River Greenways as your nonprofit of choice for the story. And something that I try to point out to people, like, you know, you work at Compass, there could have been this expectation that Compass would have to be your nonprofit of choice. I always want people to know, like, you don't have to give this to your employer. You can, even if it's your organization you founded, you can give it to any organization that you feel you want to support right now. And I think in some ways you can shine the light on your nonprofit and give a check to someone else. So, I mean, listen, and we know that the prize level that we set of like $250 for the judges award and $100 for the judge, the crowd favorite, which all $350 this time went to Schuylkill River Greenways. It's not actually unintentional that is, it's not a, you know, that's not going to change any nonprofit's year or month or week. But it's not nothing. We wanted it to be significant enough that when, you know, I always credit when I make those donations, I make sure to reach out to that nonprofit and be like, Tamica Tanksley told this story. Here's the link. She did this for you because of you, and you have to listen to this, and please make sure Debbie sees it. Boy, did you give Debbie a hard time in that story.
Oh, she saw it. She loved it.
I don't even know her, but I feel like I know her because she's a riot.
I told her she's a star now.
I got to ask this question. You've told at a number of different story slams. How is Mission Story Slam different from like First Person Arts or the comedy sports story slam you were telling me about? Was it second Sundays? Is that right?
Yes, on second Sundays. Mission Story Slam does something meaningful with this, prize money, so to speak. And so that to me is what makes it different and what makes it unique. And it's also using your skill. Again, as I said, passion and purpose. Yeah. Your passion is what you love to do. I love telling stories, but your purpose is when what you love to do does something for someone else. So I love telling stories, and winning that story slam gave me an opportunity to do something for someone else. I've had people come up to me like, I want to go kayaking as a result of that story and looking into them. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. People are now more aware of the nonprofits that are chosen by the winner. They also receive the financial blessing as a result of the story being, told and voted on as being the winner. And so there are a few winners, and that star winner is the nonprofit.
Wondering I guess I should have been a little bit clearer. Does the audience feel different? Because I've told at that one First Person Art Slam with you, but does the audience feel different at Mission Story Slam than some of the other places? Or is that me having wishful thinking or projecting what I want to have happen? I don't know.
The ones I've done, it's all have great energy. I think it's too like venue.
Okay.
That with the Mission Story Slam, like everybody's right there in your face. And
Yeah.
so what I loved was being able to look to my right and see a laughter, look over here and see someone nodding. So I feel like you're right. It's kind of like when you scored a winning touchdown and you leap into the crowd. So I feel like with Mission Story Slam, I was able to leap into the crowd and they caught me. and so also I think because it is an audience, you also connect with a specific audience as you just shared.
Sure.
So when you're in the company of a lot of people from the same do-gooder community, other story slams, you get people from all walks of life, but this is like a particular path of people. And so when you get the do-gooders together, it's a good time. So I think that also makes it different because it's a certain demographic that's coming primarily.
Oh no, almost.
And
yeah.
so
We're very clear in terms of who we reach out to and, who our network is inviting at this point. And I think that's the reason we had our first sellout is because now people in our community are telling other people in our community. And so I really wanted to hear from you if you picked up on that, because from the, being on a first person arch stage, it's not like the audience was adversarial, but you are telling to a bunch of storytellers with their storyteller fan groups and, like they may have some thoughts about who they want to see win. So I'm not saying that they're like shouting out evil heckles, but they may be a little slower to get with you or to give you that laugh or to come along and warm up. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like our room, it always feels safe to me. I don't know.
Yes. I asked them, can I be vulnerable?
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's a safe space. You feel like you're among friends. The cheers that you get is like everyone in there is a friend. And there were people who I didn't know so well coming in, but going out, we've connected. Like I made a lot of connections after that.
Good.
And so you make a lot of, and not connections, you make like a lot of new friends. And so it's kind of like a Cheers bar where everybody knows your name, and we're not just yelling out Norm, we're yelling out Norm, Tamica, Atia,
Yep.
Michaela, Maggie.
We had great people in the room that night. It was Bobby. But we had so many killer stories. Stories. It was a good night. Listen, this has been amazing. Here's what I want to know. How can people find you? And is there anything coming up? Like, let's talk about Two Sips of Tea. Is there a difference between the Two Sips of Tea podcast and the Montgomery College radio show? Are they two different shows?
Two different shows. And what I love about them is, so for Montgomery, so it's on Monco Radio, which is played from Montgomery County Community College. They have their own radio station. Super shout out to Matt Porter, who's like the amazing Matt Porter, who, oversees the show and so many other amazing things at Montgomery County Community College. And so their theme is where music and minds meet. And so it's perfect for a storyteller. So for me, I love music as well because they tell a story. And so what I love about Two Sips of Tea on Monco Radio is that it helps me to tell a story through music. Then the podcast is where we really kind of peel back the layers of a story. And so they're different yet the same. So one has the music to help you get through your day, pop your fingers, make you reminisce, take you back and think of where you were when you heard that song, or even hear that song in a different light because you got a theme with it now.
I love it.
And that's where you find your podcast, Spotify, Apple, it's Buzzsprout, so you can find me there to tune in. And actually, again, this recent Story Slam win, it's helped me to blow the dust off. And I'm in the midst of a season, but I haven't recorded since like June or July. And again, that's me hiding. And so Christmas Day, I'm going to be dropping 3 episodes
Cool.
as a Christmas present to warm everybody up for 2026 when we are going to hit the play button. We're going to get our finger off the pause button, hit play. So that's going to be starting up again. So that's super exciting. We'll love for people to kind of catch up and get the history of Two Sips of Tea and how it came to be. And that's just a love letter to our community. And I like to call it communal therapy, because what we just did right now, this was communal therapy. And so
at least for you and me. Everybody else may be mad at me, but keep
totally. So they can find me there. I'm on social media as Tamica Tanksley, and it's Tamica and Tanksleey. So you can find me there, TikTok.
Cool. We know how to find you. We know what's coming up. This has been clearly from the runtime, way too much fun. I hope you had a good time. At least hope you had half as much fun as I did. You are a riot, Tamica. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Michael. I've had an amazing time. I'm humbled and honored to be here with you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for all the love and support and the encouragement. And I appreciate you, Mission Story Slam, PWP, and the whole crew. So thank you so much. This has been a wonderful time. It reminds me of a quote by Confucius: choose a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. So this was time well spent. I love it.
I'm not sure I knew that was Confucius, but cool. It's good to know.
You can have that one too, Michael.
Thanks again, Tamica, and thanks to our audience for joining us. I'm sure you've heard me say this at some point before, but we are trying to build a community with Mission Story Slam. And it is a community for all of us doing the hard work of doing good. And I think all of us in that community know a community cannot be built alone. We need you, our missionaries, to do the supportive things, like rating and reviewing the podcast. It really does help. Also, direct people to our website, missionstoryslam.org, or suggest that they follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, or TikTok. We are in the throes of planning for Mission Story Slam 14 for the spring, probably going to be towards the end of May, so stay tuned for updates. The Mission Story Slam podcast is produced by Dave Winston, and this episode was edited by Chris Marston. Pod is produced and brought to you by PWP Video. We are video with a mission. You can find us at pwpvideo.com. Until our next episode, sometime next year, I shall remain Michael Schweisheimer, and I look forward to sharing the next story behind the story with you soon.